Butthead and Doug.
Nope, not gonna make her tonight, buddy.
What do you think, Doug?
Sorry, man.
I like it.
Good
All right.
grass. It's gonna be good
Yep,
sleep.
bye.
Okay, so the question of the morning is, what kind of asshole puts automatic sprinklers in a campground but doesn't tell anybody and then sets them for 5 a.m.?
Yeah, you heard me right. Automatic sprinklers in the campground, and waking up at 5 a.m. to my son in nothing but his underwear and flip-flops stomping on the automatic sprinkler that came up right next to his tent wasn't a pretty sight, nor was it the one that showed up under Doug's tent about 8 inches from his head. So it was an interesting night camping, to say the least. Well, along with stopping for lunch, we also met 2 more members of our group. They couldn't make it Friday night, but John and his boy Gale met us here at Ole's Big Game Lounge in Paxton. We had a little bit to eat, a little bit to drink, and kind of prepped ourselves for the rest of our journey up through the sandhills. The big attraction at Ole's is obviously they have a fair amount of game and trophies mounted on the wall. And we fueled up here in Paxton and we hit the road, and you'll see where we go from here. So after we got our full stomachs, we got our tanks filled on our motorcycles at this little 2-pump gas station there in Paxton, and we headed out to go over by Lake McConaughey. We rode across the dam and took a couple pictures, and then we rode up through the sandhills through Arthur and Hyannis, and then we got on Highway 2 and rode back towards Broken Bow and then Selma, where we were going to set up camp for the night. And the sandhills are really pretty scenic. It's really kind of a nice ride through there. Just have to make sure you've got plenty of gas, because a lot of times it's 80 miles or better between gas stops. I think I mentioned earlier that this was John and Gail's first trip with us. Gail had packed, but apparently something came loose, and between where we ate lunch and our next gas stop, he lost his sleeping bag. So that kind of changed plans a little bit for those guys for the night. They had to make an extra trip to go buy another sleeping bag. And as you can see, out here in the middle of nowhere, there's not a lot of Walmarts out there to be found or someplace to go buy a sleeping bag. But we overcame that challenge. They drove into Broken Bow that night. We got a sleeping bag purchased before we set up camp for the night. And we cruised down Highway 2, and that's along the main coal hauling route for Burlington Northern there. Had a nice ride down there and really pretty views, and it was just a good way to wrap up the day.
Doubles my mileage. I'll put a couple in. You're like, well, I'm doing right volleyball, you guys. Well, that's why I was starting to panic. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting way up there to where I should be out of gas. And you're out there in the middle of nowhere. Oh, when I saw that last sign for Hyannis 34 miles away, I was like, oh, I hope I make it. I don't know.
Never sounds good in the morning.
Yeah.
Hi, 8:30.
We're all up.
Almost.
Except for the two youngsters. Youngster number 2. And youngster number 1. I think his tent's moving around though.
We'll get you mounting your sleeping bag.
No, I can't do it as effectively if you're watching. That's the idea.
See, I don't need a tent buddy today. Yesterday, Doug was my tent buddy. He helped me pull it up and he was out on
Justin, he's special.
So Sunday morning, we're getting all packed up. Finally got the youngsters out of bed and getting everything rolled up, packed back on the bikes, and heading home for the day. I always kind of hate this part because it means we all kind of got to go our separate ways, and we all got to go to work on Monday, and well, it just kind of wraps up a whole nother year. But we've got the ride home yet to enjoy.
You're all gassed up?
Yep. Foot power now.
Yeah. The Zimmermans are gassing up.
We got her.
All good?
All good.
Gail, all good? Didn't lose anything on the way home?
I know. We do on some gas here. Helps, but I don't think it's just kind of random. Doing good. Nice. We're in Lincoln right now.
So did you figure out
It's still giving him gas.
what you're getting for mileage, Mike?
Oh, now it's not. I didn't actually. Last stop for me, guys.
Are you going home right now? I got a feeling Doug and Rich are in there getting something to drink.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard too. So we'll chill out here for a little bit, but that's fine. I can milk it even farther. That's good for me. I don't really want to go put my bike away yet.
Yeah.
Good ride. It was fun. It's nice to get everybody together. Nice to finally get you along. Maybe next year you can make the full thing.
Yeah, he's just breaking in stages.
Yes, precisely.
You have to get used to the
Have you been on a
nutrients
trip
slowly.
No, so yeah, maybe it worked out better this way.
Yeah.
We could try to kill you the first day.
Yeah.
We broke you in.
Well, there were a lot of first times on this trip. It was the first time for Gail to go on our trip with us. It was the first time for Mike to have somebody younger than him on a trip. It was the first time for John to join us on one of our trips, but he's got a lot of miles under his belt. I don't know that Dustin or Jeff had any first times other than, well, I guess we all had a first time for waking up with the sprinkler shooting against our tent. I think Jeff came out on the better end of that deal because his tent was down lower where there wasn't a sprinkler. It was a first for Doug, who joined us on his Harley that he got last spring, and we were glad to have him along. It was a first for Rich, who's had his Virago for a long while but hasn't gone on a long trip or come with us on any of our trips. So it was a really good year for the guys' trip. We had a nice ride. We had some good times and we had some wet times. But as always, we'll look forward to doing it again next year and hope you enjoyed the video.